For more than 100 years, various cable cars have been built all over the world, serving as alternative ways to travel to hard-to-reach places. Some routes are laid for tourism purposes, delivering tourists or skiers to picturesque peaks. Others serve as an alternative to mountain roads for climbing to high-mountainous settlements. In this issue, we will look at the most beautiful cable cars passing through mountain gorges, through water obstacles, jungles, or over cities. The Henteng cable car is located in Malaysia and is rightfully considered the fastest cable car in the world. Henteng, where the cable car leads, is a city of entertainment at an altitude of 2,000 meters above sea level. It is called the Las Vegas of Malaysia. This is the legendary brainchild of one very brave and ambitious Chinese. Once upon a time, back in the late 60s, a billionaire from Malaysia of Chinese origin, Lim Gotog, decided to invest his entire fortune in an ambitious project that was supposed to turn the quiet highlands of Malaysia on the border of the two states of Pahang and Selangor into the most popular casino in Southeast Asia. When he first voiced the idea of building a high mountain resort, he was laughed at. In the late 1960s, the area was covered with virgin tropical jungle. But Tong did not give up his idea, and in 1971 the first hotel opened its doors. Today, Henteng has 20 first-class hotels, the only legal casino in Malaysia, huge golf courses, amusement parks, dozens of restaurants, cinemas, shopping malls, and a variety of attractions on the top of the mountain with a beautiful panoramic view of the jungle-covered valley. The main attraction of this place is the cable car leading to the top, through dense jungle and clouds. The cable car opened in 1997 and was opened by Mahathir Mohamad himself, the legendary Prime Minister of Malaysia. The speed of the suspended cabins is 6 meters per second, and the length of the route is 3,380 meters, separating Henteng from the lower station, which is located in the village of Kuala Kubu Baru. Travelers cover it in just 11 minutes. The Gulmarg cable car in India is considered the highest. Since 1948, Kashmir has been a source of contention between India and Pakistan. The two countries have been dividing disputed territory for more than half a century, which is why the region has long been considered dangerous for tourism. But at the beginning of the 20th century, the tension in this dispute subsided, and it was realized that this place could become very attractive for tourism. It was here that the cable car was launched in 2005. Which to this day is considered the highest mountain. The first section of the road began to function in the spring of 1998, and then the maximum lift height was 3,100 m. The second section made it possible to rise to a height of 4,114 m. The total length of this cable car is 5 kilometers, and the capacity is 600 people per hour. By the way, before the opening of the cable car, skiers were lifted to the mountains by helicopters, which made the cost of skiing in every sense of the word exorbitant for most comers. The Swiss cable car in the resort of Huckebrück is considered the scariest in the world. In order to ride it, you need to wear a helmet and fasten your seatbelts. The fact is that on the Sternensauser cableway, passengers move under the weight of their own body. The cable car is a cable stretched between several platforms at a height of 75 m above the ground. By the way, this particular cable car is the longest cable car of its type in the world. The trail starts near the top station of the chairlift and leads down to the station located in the valley. While driving, the passenger reaches a speed of 70 to 90 kilometers per hour, which creates a feeling of free flight. The only disadvantage of the cable road is that you can ride along it only in the summer. Cable car to Sentosa Island in Singapore. This island is located 25 kilometers south of Singapore. Once upon a time there was a small fishing village here, but today it is an island Asian Disneyland, a magnet for tourists and a favorite vacation spot for Singaporeans themselves. There is an amusement park, an aquarium, and 3 kilometers of snow-white beaches. You can get to Sentosa by public transport and even on foot, but most visitors choose the cable car stretching over the strait. The Singapore government started thinking about its construction in 1968, and 4 years later it was launched. Initially, the cable car had 43 cabins. Today their number has reached 81, and the local cable car has become the first in the world to offer cabins made entirely of glass, which causes incredible emotions among visitors to this cable car. The longest cable car until 2018 was the Tadef cable car, located in Armenia. It was launched on October 16, 2010. The cable car stretches 5 kilometers 700 meters above the gorge of the Varotin River. The construction of the cableway was conceived in 2009 as one of the stages of the revival program of Tadef, a medieval monastery of the 9th century. In 1931, the monastery was badly damaged by an earthquake, and restoration work has not yet been completed. Until the cable car appeared, it was possible to get to Tadef only along a steep serpentine road leading along the cliff at an angle of 45 degrees, which was often washed away in winter. But now tourists and locals can visit Tadef all year round. The cabins move at a speed of 37 kilometers per hour and cover the distance to the monastery in just 11 minutes. The longest unsupported span. This record belongs to the Miscor AI Petrie cable car, which is located in Crimea. During the ascent, which lasts about 15 minutes, tourists have time to enjoy the picturesque panorama of the southeastern coast of Crimea from Sudak to Foros. The uniqueness of this cable car is that between its middle and upper stations there is the longest unsupported span listed in the Guinness Book of Records. There is not a single intermediate tower for 2 kilometers. It's not uncommon for thick clouds to hang over the mountain, and the cabin drives right into the clouds, delivering incredible emotions to tourists. Chinese Park Zhangjiajie. It was this place that inspired director James Cameron to create the flying mountains in the movie Avatar. There is a cable car here, which many tourists call the most exciting in the world. The uniqueness of this cable car lies in its ascent angles. In some sections it rises upward at an angle of 70 degrees, crashing directly into the clouds. The journey to the top takes about 40 minutes, and due to the pressure difference, passengers often have blocked ears, and the temperature in the cabin drops sharply. There is often thick fog over the park, which adds mysticism to the surrounding landscapes. cable car from Manhattan to Roosevelt Island. Despite the fact that New York is located in a flat area, the Americans decided to build a cableway here too. The cable car, which connected Manhattan with Roosevelt Island in 1976, was supposed to function only while the subway line was being completed. But local residents liked traveling by air so much that the cable car was not dismantled even after the launch of the metro line. This cable car secured its status as a full-fledged urban transport, and also actually became the world's first aerial tram. The Brazilian cable car over the favelas has received the status of the cheapest and longest urban cable car in the world. It stretches for 3,456 meters. 152 cabins ply along it, capable of transporting up to 3,000 people per hour. Local residents are entitled to 2 free tickets per day to travel on it. The favelas of Rio de Janeiro have long been notorious as the most crime-prone neighborhoods of the Brazilian capital. They are dangerous not only for tourists, but also for local residents. The easiest way to get around here is on foot, since there is virtually no public transport along the local hills and narrow streets. Therefore, the Rio authorities decided to build a cable car over 6 suburbs of the Brazilian capital, which began operating in July 2011. Hon cable car is the longest cable car in the world. It has a length of 7,900 m and connects 2 Vietnamese islands, Hon Tom and the famous tourist Phu Quoc. Most of it passes over the sea. The opening of the road took place in February 2018 and construction lasted 3 years. This cable car took the title of the longest from the Armenian cable car, which proudly bore this status until 2018. Each of the 69 cabins is designed for 30 passengers. The distance between extreme points is covered in 15 to 20 minutes. It is noteworthy that the height of the highest support reaches 160 m. The cabins offer truly impressive views of the mountains, settlements, and the sea with many fishing boats. The price of the cable car ride includes a visit to the water park, to which, in fact, it is laid. Vin Pearl is another cable car in Vietnam, connecting the mainland and Hon Tre Island, where a huge amusement park Vin Pearl Land has been created. This cable car is considered the longest over the sea. Its length is 3,311 m. The road is supported by 9 supports, 7 of which stand directly in the sea. The highest support reaches a height of 115 m, of which 40 m is underwater. The cabins move at a distance of 70 m above the water, and they move quite slowly. The entire journey in one direction takes about 20 minutes. Another incredibly beautiful cable car is located in Canada. It stretches between the Blackham and Whistler mountain peaks. The length of this cable car is 4.5 kilometers, but the most unique thing is its spans. The distance between the supports is 3,030 meters. Travel time between the endpoints of the route is 11 minutes. During the trip, passengers have a 360-degree view of volcanic peaks, forests, and glaciers. Cabrio cable car in Switzerland. There is only one double-decker open-top cabin in the world. It is installed on the Swiss Cabrio cable car. This road leads to the top of Mount Stanchorn. Its height is 1,850 meters. The 2,300-meter ascent takes place at a speed of 8 meters per second, and the cabin will be at the end point in 6.5 minutes from the start of the trip. The cabin can accommodate 60 people at a time. During the journey, you are allowed to move from a closed to an open deck, which offers a breathtaking all-round view. Mi Teleférico cable car in Bolivia. The road was built as an alternative to public transport. With its help, people can quickly climb from La Paz to the high-altitude El Alto. The cable car carries about 160,000 passengers every day and is an excellent alternative to land transport. With these cable lines, you can travel 30 kilometers in 25 minutes. Teleférico de Mérida ski lift in Venezuela. This cable car was built to transport passengers from Mérida to the peak of Espejo, which rises 4,756 m above sea level. The total length of this cable car, consisting of 4 sections, is 12,500 m. This distance is covered in almost 2 hours. Tourists planning to travel to the top of Espejo need to take into account there is a huge difference in altitude between the starting and ending stations. This means that when you get up, your health may worsen. The lift was created in the 1960s. It was closed in 2008, and modernization began in 2011. In April 2017, the passenger cable car began operating again. Friends, write your comments about which cable car you liked the most, and what interesting routes we forgot to mention. Well, that's all for today. Thank you all for watching. If it was interesting, support the video with likes. Thank you for subscribing, and take a look at what else we have prepared for you.